broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant, broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we kick off a best-of-3 showdown between the Lions and the Rabbits. Start out with Game 1 on Ascent. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Michael Fisher, calling all of the action for you here tonight. And Fish, this being a show match, we've had a lot of show matches over the past few weeks, a chance to showcase a lot of the new talent coming to Esports Tower, and I'm told that this week it's going to be no different as we have a lot of new players this week.
Yeah, got a lot of new players, and also we're still just adjusting to the Valorant map rotations. I know a lot of the players, we're going to see, I think we're going to see Lotus again tonight, as we saw that for the first time last week. I know Bind is a map that a lot of teams really love. That's no longer in the rotation, so it's finding out, like, what can we play on, how can we build our comp. So it'll be a very good learning process for these players, both, as you said, new players, and how do we play on these new Valorant maps when our old favorites are kind of taken away from us?
Well, no matter what stage you're playing on, whether it's an oldie or one that you're still trying to get adjusted to, there are timeless keys to the game that can always be applied. In this case, that's Doc's keys to the game in Valorant. That's going to be to create mistakes, punish double commits, flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and click heads. It's all brought to you by Esports Tower. Score Pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. As we're ready to head on to our first match of this best of 3, it's the Lions versus the Rabbits, two completely new teams and mascots for Esports Tower, so should be fun, but we are starting out on something that is not new, something that is tried and tested. It is the classic Ascent.
Yeah, this is, there's some new maps, you're losing to your old maps, but Ascent never changes. It'll be very exciting to see kind of how these teams attack it. I feel like we've seen countless strategies over the years in Esports Tower. It does feel like the teams that have dominated have usually had one attack site they want to go to. They're going to jam it down your face probably 90% of their attack rounds, maybe swap it up once or twice. So I'm very curious to see what these teams have in store for us. Jacob, again, as you mentioned, new players. That requires new strategies, maybe some different agent compositions than we're used to, so it should be a ton of fun.
And, of course, shout out to Vitamin Shop. Everything a gamer could need. You can scan the QR code now to check out their latest products. Now, as we're ready to head on to the first stage here in Ascent, the first main question that we have about either of these teams that I'm sure everyone is going to like to see answered is, what kind of first-round picks do these new players fancy? Are they ghost types? You just go for the ghosts and try to win on the gunplay, or do they like those abilities?
Found them.
Ooh, Corkles does get a nice recon dart out on the Keki on there. Did kind of get the ping on him. We have Crunchwrap Supreme going around for a flank here. Oh, but Ellie has that angle held down. Fortunately, those 2 shots missed. That would have been huge had he hit either of those.
I also see Zero trying to back up Crunchwrap right now. Cats with the possible flank through mid. Both of them are going to get blinded, and Kika then pushes through Fish Market. Rabbits looking good with 5-4. Keeping their options open and moving through mid now. Are going to smoke off that sideline and move toward Gardens.
Took a couple of shots and kind of backed off. As you said, they've now moved over to Gardens. So Crunchwrap Supreme is here. He's got Quirkles up top in window. You can see the shots coming down. Crunchwrap Supreme knows they're there. Unfortunately, just can't quite hit, and Kinetic pushes through the smoke and gets one. But Jabe and Quirkles pick up 3 in a row for the Lions.
One enemy remaining.
Dark evens things up back onto Jabe, but he still has to plant the spike. He might just try to go for it on eliminations, moving under Heaven. He's just going to get taken out through the smoke.
Yeah, most likely some great call-outs there from the Lions. Knew exactly where Dark was, so Corkles knew exactly where to spray. And really unfortunate, this just came down to a couple of misses by the Lions. I mean, Crunchwrap Supreme had a couple of great chances to get some picks, just could not hit a shot with that Sheriff, and that unfortunately really made that round a little bit harder for the Lions.
And this was a tough position, too. I think he was trying to find some cover, but with the way that smoke was placed, I'm pretty sure those legs were visible, so it was pretty easy for them to kind of deduce where he was. Going to start things out. Jabe's going to throw out the camera on A, try to take a peek through that. Kinetic has also decided to go for the shorty on round 2. Trying to find some sort of close peek, close angle. Cat's also taking a bit peek through garden.
The Marshall shots just flying off through mid, and finally one of them lands. It's Crunchwrap Supreme. Zero going to pick up another one.
Another one thrown out by the Lions. Then they decide to retreat. One Shark Dart out. Crunchwrap Supreme now deciding to get a bit of elevation. Kinetic is going to have a tough time rotating through mid. I don't know what kind of peek he wants to take. Cypher's going to try to call out to the camera. Sees the left leg of one of them. Yeah, with such short-range weapons going up against a Marshall is a tricky situation. I think they might make the call to rotate through mid. Crunchwrap has rotated up very close on Courtyard. Trying to take any sort of peek.
Ooh, Corkles
30 seconds left.
predicted that rotation over towards the other bomb side. Gets one.
One enemy remaining.
Gets another. Zero got Kinetic on the other side, and the Lions pick up a second round in a row.
And now as we head into round 3, and this was the one thing I think if you know he has a shorty, you gotta rotate back and just play for distance, because there's no way he's gonna beat you if you just rotate back up. I mean, I understand you want to catch him at an unexpected angle, but I think if he had known the weapon choice there, would have been the safer option. Just keep those long sidelines, especially since the Marshalls have been working out so well for the Lions thus far.
I've seen a lot of people kind of fall in love with the Marshall over the last few weeks. We'll see if Crunchwrap Supreme can land another Marshall shot here. Got the dash active, does get his location revealed as the dog as well, so he's just got to bail out before anything goes too crazy. And here comes the Rabbits onto this B site.
Crunchwrap Supreme also has a shorty as his backup, and that works out just fine. He takes out Kinetic, shows him he's not the only one that can use the sawed-off shotgun. Dark with a wallbang is going to bring it back to 4 apiece. Now the retake from the Lions. Trying to take a look through into Boathouse, because Dark is hanging back there. Bombot thrown out onto point. Deacon and caught out in the molly and trade 1 for 1 again. Corkles. Oh, look at Corkles. Lions clear out the point and win on their bonus round.
It's a fantastic job by the Lions. Corkles, as you said, 8-1 on that Sova, doing a fantastic job, kind of the veteran leader of this Lions team, and so far it's working out really well for him. Rabbit's got to come up with something. I like the push there. I thought the all-in shove was going to be a great one. Unfortunately, nobody could account for Corkles having a huge pop-off round, honestly.
The Rabbits are going to be forced back onto an eco round. Nothing much better than a Marshall that they have to work with.
Hey, we've seen some insane Marshall play. I mean, we've seen insane play from Kinetic, period. So, ooh.
He misses the first shot with the Marshall, takes another, but Corkles is dancing around it. Another sideline taken by Cats on the Courtyard. That dog's
like, wait a minute. There's nobody here.
Here.
Yeah, you can see the Rabbits are very confused now, because since that dog didn't get them any information, they really don't know where anyone is. Jabe is behind the boxes and immediately finds the tripwire trigger. Going to get a second there. Going to get a third.
That one way.
One enemy remaining.
Unfortunately, Crunchwrap Supreme takes what could have been an ace, and it's all up to Ellie, and unfortunately, oh, okay. Shut down Jade, but the Lions pick up another.
That was a textbook one-way smoke by Jabe. Not only was there just basically the whole, all of util that the dog could have provided was negated, but Jabe just kind of waits out this blind from the Omen and then gets all the information he could possibly need by seeing their legs underneath that smoke. That was so beautifully played by him. We got a competent Cypher player here.
Yeah, Jabe and Corkles have been having some very impressive rounds so far. Because, I mean, Cypher usually, you don't pick Cypher on Ascent unless you're overly confident.
Talking about overly confident, he's placing that util pretty far up, too.
Corkles immediately gets a First Blood down in mid right away. Jabe, as you mentioned, is very far push forward, but he won't go too crazy, so he will not see that the rest of the Rabbits are trying to now retreat through mid. But they are going to lose one more. Zero picks up Dark.
Bomb buddy out. Spike's there.
Bomb
Oh,
goes
they lost the
out.
Spike too. That's rough.
Moving up with the paint shells. Corkles is going to try to take a peek around them all. He's going to force them out, and he picks up Darman first thing. He gets another one, going up to a triple. Can Ellie bring this back? Only has 4 left, and that's just going to be all she wrote.
I think, unfortunately, I couldn't quite tell if Contrast Spring got over the blind or not, but did catch Ellie in that util, and 5-0 right now for the Lions. Coming out very strong here, defending. Really, the Rabbits have not had an answer. Unfortunately, it's going to be another eco round, and that's going to make it even harder unless maybe it's Marshall pop-off time. It's hard to say.
Most of the Marshall popping off has been on the defensive team side, so I don't know if Lions can necessarily find them themselves. The good news is that despite them on this eco round, they are going to have the knives available to them, and we have seen Connect pop off with that. Though Crunchwrap Supreme immediately taking out Kikkonen. Gonna put the pressure even more onto Kinetic to perform. Dark can't see through mid. Trying to see if there's a potential flank.
Oh, unfortunately, Kinetic does go down. Got a couple of shots, I think, on to Cat or onto Zero, but does get taken out.
Spike down mid.
Darman will be able to pick up one, but unfortunately, they will lose the spike, and it's now a 2v4 for the Rabbits here as Ellie and Dark maybe going to try and push forward onto Crunchwrap Supreme.
One enemy remaining.
Quick reflexes from Crunchwrap Supreme, dodging that hawk. Dashes away. He's going to try to... Oh, man.
Oh.
Ellie has his attention divided. Is able to take out Cats, but it's good team coordination from the Lions to pinch him in from both sides.
We talk about that all the time when you're in a situation like that. You don't want to kind of push yourself in 1v1 like we almost saw with Crunchwrap Supreme. That was a great job. Allowing the team to surround Ellie, and unfortunately, there's only so much she could do in that situation. And now the Rabbits are looking for really anything at this point. Try and turn this game around.
I would say in terms of games that I've just seen in my regular experience, in terms of like the biggest comebacks or rallies that we've seen, 6-0 is kind of the break point. I have seen teams make up a 6-0 deficit in the first half. Once you start getting past 7-0, you might start spelling trouble. Corkles is going to use the Hunter's Fury immediately. Doesn't look like he really got a ping off of anybody.
I think he missed. We do have Crunchwrap Supreme with the dash, but unfortunately only can go 1 for 1. We do hear the Seekers are going to be used immediately. And that's going to help Kikion pick up Corkles, and now all of a sudden the Rabbits are starting to look in business for the first time.
But they're having to spend all their ultimates to do so. Dark gets the plant. Really, I think only the second time this round that we've seen a plant come out from the Rabbits. Lions were pretty good on the retake. They started off right with Zero taking out Ellie. Oh, brutal.
Down 0-6, do you rarely expect the op to be pulled out, and Kinetic making it work? Oh, unfortunately just didn't see Cats.
Last player standing.
It's now down to a 2v1 here. What can Jabe do?
He's been able to clutch it, but he isn't in a position where he can get to a corpse to use the neural theft, but almost gets the spray transfer. I just don't know if he has enough time. He has to try to bait it out. He gets it. Oh. No, I don't think so. Oh, what an effort, though.
He gave it all he got. Does kind of put a dent in the Rabbits' eco despite them winning, but it's a win, and they'll take it. They get themselves on the board. And it's 6-1. They stop the losing streak, and really a fantastic lead round by both teams.
I always like to see a Cypher be the one to always clutch at this. If he had gotten the spray transfer there, I think he might have had just enough time to defuse. And he almost did. It's quite insane, though, that he was able to stand toe-to-toe against the Rabbits when it was all down to him. I think even though that's a round loss, it's going to hardly put a dent in the Lions' confident mood. Trap
Supreme has been very aggressive on this B site, trying once again. This time has to just full dash away and get rid of that spy cam dart. Though it does allow, once again, the Rabbits to kind of take over, but Crunchwrap Supreme takes down Kinetic, takes down Darman. Dark's going to go down as well. Ellie does get a 1-for-1 trade, but now I already have to Kiko here on this 1v4. Oh! Thought he might catch him running the other way, but I think he maybe peeked a little too soon.
Once again, I don't think this is able to be a full buy from the Rabbits, so another eco round is going to be forced out onto them. But I think what you're seeing here is one of the things that's really pulling out for the Lions is the crosshair placement is so immaculate. They're right there lined up. It only takes 1 or 2 taps for them to get the picks that they're looking for, and this next round, in fact, could really be difficult for the Rabbits. They're going to have to pull off a complete Thrifty and a few frenzies. With a few frenzies.
First blood would be a great way to start. Not only do you put yourself in a man advantage, you also allow yourself to maybe get a gun, and that's exactly what they do. Kiko finds 1. Can they get the gun from Zero? We do see Corkles is going to find someone with the Owl drone, but if the Rabbits needed to pull off this miracle win, this is what they needed to start with. You see the knives pop for Crunchwrap Supreme, which is interesting. He's thrown down a couple of smokes in mid-market and gets one.
It's going to get the reload. Ooh. The orbital strike also just tears right through Ellie and Darman.
Ooh, Kinetic does get 1. It's... Oh!
My goodness. I mean, all he needed was to pick up one of the Lions' guns and is dancing around with the frenzy. Oh my goodness, Kinetic. It's just up to Jabe now.
Oh my gosh. We were on Kinetic's POV, and I even got lost where he was. I have no idea how he was able to make that play, but a fantastic, I don't want to say game-saving because there's still a lot of Valorant left, but if you're down 8-1.
Okay, I do like this Neuro Theft.
Spike planted.
Finding an opportunity to use it. He's going to get to know where both Kikkonen and Kinetic are. Ping goes out twice. Gets rid of that tripwire. They're both going to go down.
It's a nice bait on the pings. They did a great job timing out that second ping, so now he has no idea where they are.
Cage triggered.
Throw out a smoke. He's able to trade 1 for 1. Not the worst thing that can happen.
Hey, the Rapids take it.
With a Thrifty. I mean, I mentioned that as a possibility during the beginning of the round, but also just in the back of my head. Yeah, right, of course.
This was absolutely bananas from Kinetic. It's 1, doesn't quite land the spray transfer and just says, you know what? I'll just pull off a jet full maneuverability with the frenzy.
Ugh, that's rough.
I mean, I don't even, if you're Crunchwrap Supreme, you tip your hat and say well played, because I mean, that's a phenomenal hero effort. Does look like we have a couple of ops on the field, and Zero's op is stronger than Kinetic's, and he'll get first blood.
Owl drone taking a peek around the corner through A. Dog's going to be thrown out. Corkles retreats. Takes out the homing dart.
Don't know if anyone decided to pick up Kinetic's op.
Here.
Or if they'll just go in with ARs for this. They do, I mean, unbeknownst to them, have A site currently wide open.
They ran into this problem rounds ago. If they didn't get any sort of information on where the Lions are off their util, then they have a really tough time moving around this corner and taking A.
Face your fear!
Well, Nightfall's going to try to buy them a bit of information.
Ooh, Cats does get 1 in Garden, though.
One op shot through the smoke. Corkle's also doing work up in heaven, eliminating Dark. Darman's going to go down to half health just on the bomb bot alone. Crunchwrap Supreme gets Ellie, Darman now, and they answer back that Thrifty with a flawless.
And they just stopped the spike from going down as well. Those are some extra credits that could have helped the Rabbits, and we'll see now if they can pull off another Thrifty.
It was kind of interesting that in that round, the last thrifty that the Rabbits were able to pull off that you did see, excuse me, you did see Kinetic able to win the jet duel because the Lions decided to eco, and even though they were so much ahead with the knives. And once he ran out of knives, he saw him just kind of panicking, looking everywhere, not knowing what to do. But that isn't going to be the case this round. They all have their ARs and one op.
Ooh, Crunchwrap.
Yep, see?
Starts off with a kill. They saw Cats through the smoke, but unfortunately no one is able to kill him.
How do you even come out on top of that? What even was that?
I have no idea how Cats lived through all of that.
Last round.
I mean, he was out there in no man's land, kind of fakes them out, but they should all be looking. This technically a 4-on-1. I mean, what is Cats even doing? He's out there for like 3 seconds, takes another peek. They should know he's there, and the spray transfer, that is insane.
I mean, yeah, I think that's, much like we saw from Kinetic. I think that's not one of those plays where you can really bash the Rabbits. I mean, that was just fantastic weaving by Cats and fantastic aiming as well. And we potentially look, I mean, hey, you were talking about big comebacks. Maybe the Rabbits make it 9-3 here. You never know as Kinetic gets a great start. Make it 2.
Risky peek taken by Crunchwrap.
Exactly I've got your trail.
A Neural Theft and a Seekers coming out. Maybe stack those a little too close together, but I still think it's going to help to chase down Corkles as Kinetic's looking for his third of the round. He picks it up.
Plant is successful. 2 left. Cats and Jabe on the retake for Lions.
Open up the sky.
Orbital strike brought out. Trying to clear out the point. Gets 1.
Ooh, they didn't
this
check where
is
Kinetic
doable,
was.
but I don't think they're looking where Kinetic is. Kinetic's going to pick himself up the ace and bring it to 9-3 overall.
6 HP left on the ace, and maybe that was exactly what the Rabbits needed. Kinetic realizing it's time to, put the team in the backpack and let's get this dub. He's got a long way to go, but this is a great round. And we talk about it all the time. Jabe just didn't peek the corner, and then Kinetic wins a great gunfight against Cats. Fresh start now, fresh eco at least for the Rabbits, so you never know, Jacob. This might be the start of a comeback.
Could be, especially since you got to figure with the Cypher pick for both of these teams, whoever is going to be on defense is automatically going to have that extra bit more of an advantage just due to how he's built.
And a lot of the Lions' wins came off of mid First Blood picks. It's not as easy to do if you're attacking.
They're immediately going to get blinded by the Hawk.
We can see you, Crunchwrap Supreme. Of course, Kinetic cannot.
Problem is, this play only works out as long as that smoke is still up. It wears out. Are they checking that angle? They're moving around.
Ooh, Ellie and Jabe getting a fight in garden. Jabe somehow turns and headshots his arm, and that's unfortunate collateral as Kinetic gets run right into by Crunchwrap. Sees another in Cats, but can't quite take him down. It's a 3v3 with the spike going down.
Spike planted.
0 now puts a small advantage onto the Lions. Also see Ellie hanging on by a thread with only 10 health. Dark, thanks to those shark darts, is going to be brought down to 13 himself.
And this is looking like a very tough round here for the Rabbits, mainly just based off the health bars. Ellie will get the healing at least for Dark to put him back at full health. Unfortunately, will not help her at all.
Shadows traveling.
Throws out the smoke, moves down. Corkles takes out Ellie. Dark with the running gun, able to take out Corkles, but Zero was hiding back.
Zero did not remember to check below him. Zero just gets the free kill, and it started out so well for the Rabbits, but unfortunately, it ends in a loss here to start off the second half.
And we've seen multiple times of it's just that one angle that they kind of forget to look at that really proves to be their undoing. Lions now move up to 10-3. Considering now that they can have the gun advantage here in the second round of the second half, then you should think that the 11-3 is also secured.
Fortunately, when the Rabbits have been at their lowest, that's when they've somehow found ways to turn this around. Unfortunately, they go for a very interesting strategy of trying to meet the Lions at B. Unfortunately, they quickly realized there were no Lions at B. They're all over at A, but they might actually get an insane four-man flank on this A site.
Depends on how quick the Lions can set up the spike. The plant is going to go down. Crunchwrap Supreme moving out.
Oh.
Doesn't see him from his side, but still manages to take him out. Now that they've secured Heaven, I think that this flank is just a bit too late, especially since Corkles sees them, catches them out.
This dog is going to be huge. There's a lot of defense set up, however. Kiko going to go down to Crunchwrap Supreme. Kinetic, though, does get one more with the Guardian, so it is overall still an even 3v3. Fortunately, Cat's going to get one. They do find Crunchwrap Supreme, but it's all down to a 1v2. And you were right, Jacob. They do win the round, but it was a little closer, I think, than it looked at the start.
It is now that there's not going to be much of a bonus for the Lions in this particular circumstance. You could see them just seeing how close that they are to getting to 13, that they might decide to just take the full purchases now and just try to end it. But they're going to still keep on a half buy.
It looks like Cat's the only one who
Need a drop.
upgraded to an AR.
Need a drop.
Kinetic does have
Here.
the op shorty. Potentially could make some plays here depending on if they use any util. Gets one. Recon Bolt does go out, but they'll take the 5-4 to start the round.
Kinetic now repositioning, looking to take another peek.
Ooh.
And gets it. 0. Risky. Oh my goodness. After one op shot, you'd think, you know, hey, we're going to have a bit of caution around these corners, but Kinetic picking them off.
He's going to force out the full rotation, the turn tails and run for the Lions as Cats and Corkles realizing B is not safe from Kinetic's rain. Let's try A. But you can see on the map in the top left corner, the Rabbits quickly realize that it's probably an A rotation themselves, and they're going to reposition here. With Kiko going to get up in heaven and should have some easy spray down because I don't know how much util is left for the Lions.
They still have all of their brim smokes left.
Smoke's down.
They're going to use them to take out Garden and Heaven.
Last
They
player
throw the
standing.
door down, but now it's just one left.
30 seconds
Corkles.
Fortunately, yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened. I think both of them might have ended up trying to push towards that door. Corkles gets shorty by Kinetic. 11-4, a flawless, and now the Lions are going to be in a very interesting spot.
They still have a lot of room for error, but, you know, you'd think after that first pick, you know, maybe there'd just be a little bit more caution trying to peek around because you see 0 out here looking to the left. I mean, he's just, you know, easy pickings.
Yeah, I'm with you. After that first pick, I think you got to be a lot more careful if you are the Lions. And really, I think this game might come down to if they can put themselves on the opposite side of the map of Kinetic's op, which they did just now. They are going to have majority at B. Kinetic trying to push through A, though there are a couple in mid. As Corkles maybe pushing over to Garden might have a little bit of trouble with Kiko and company.
Corkles moving slowly up toward Garden. This is going to be an off showdown if he's not careful, and Kinetic makes him pay for it.
We do have 2 on B. Right now, Sero is the one alive. He's trying to hunt down Dark and Kiko. Gets Kiko, and now it's up to Dark and Boathouse to maybe stop Sero. And that is the spike, and unfortunately, that is not a good place for the spike to be if you're the Lions because you're nowhere close for your last member of Jabe.
And it seems to be a guessing game for the Lions of trying to guess where Kinetic is not with that op, and they just keep coming out on the losing side of all of those predictions.
This was an interesting round because, yeah, I think they tried to put the spike.
Oh!
Ooh, Jabe gets him. They tried to put the spike away from Kinetic, which worked, but the spike unfortunately died, and now Jabe is trying to rush across. Still has 30 seconds, but most likely we'll have to kill Ellie and Dark regardless anyway.
I don't know if probably the more conservative option would just be to take the op and run. Unless one of them grabbed it, but I don't think that's the case.
Oh.
He doesn't check it. He gets blinded.
Oh, I thought he caught Ellie in the util. I was very scared. Fortunately,
Yeah, both of them don't have that op, so he could have taken it.
yeah, and
He would have enough time, even if he doesn't think that he can save it for the remainder of the round. You could, at least throw it back over the edge or do something with it.
well, I don't think either Dark or Ellie ended up picking up the op, so the op effectively disappeared, though I'm sure Kinetic has more than enough cash. This was a great blind. I thought you were caught in the util. I thought that was some Valorant timing where you prep your util as they peek you, but Ellie got it out just in time and a great blind, and 11-5.
Get out of my way.
Do you hear the knives come out? Does look like ooh, Pico is going to get ganged up on here. He's got to be careful.
Well, this Jet looking the wrong way, though. Almost paid for missing that dash.
Well, Ellie ends up picking up 2, make it 3.
Spike down A. One enemy
Oh,
remaining.
what a read. Keeping an eye on the spike. Fantastic little play there. Corkles at the Marshall gets at least one.
Neck does indeed have the credits to buy another op. So just this op play by the Rabbits, consistently getting the first picks on these rounds, has left the Lions just kind of scratching their heads. They won one round at the very beginning and haven't been lucky since.
I mean, it's really coming across that between these two teams, Ascent is the defender-favored map. I mean, the attackers have really struggled. I thought maybe it was just the Rabbits, but the Lions have now struggled as well. There's been some fantastic play by Kinetic. I mean, Ellie just had a 4-piece there. Unfortunately, got denied the shot at the ace. And I do think the Rabbits just been very aggressive. We see they're already pushed up on A. We'll see if Kinetic or Ellie can take a kill onto Corkles, as Kinetic is a different player entirely.
Standing ahead. I have the spike.
Lions now just with 4 are going to have to grab the spike and run. Hunter's Fury brought out by Lions.
I don't think it tagged anyone.
Seekers going to help give the Rabbits a bit of information.
You have the Neural Theft as well, if Kiko can get a kill.
And he does.
He just needs to get to the body.
Crunchwrap Supreme gets one pick of his own, keeping it within range, 4-3. Now 2-4. This is
Player standing.
going horribly wrong yet again for the Lions as Kikkonen gets his triple.
Who had us at 11-7 4 rounds ago?
Yes. This
Absolutely phenomenal play by the Rabbits.
that goes there. Here.
Ever since beyond the initial pistol rounds where Lions won both of them, they haven't won a single full purchase round, and they're forced onto another eco round. So realistically, Lions haven't been able to show that they can pull off a thrifty, whereas the Rabbits have. The one good news for them, though, is that they did call this right. They've chosen the point where Kikkonen is not set up, so already that's a big help for them.
Hit Jabe down in hell as well, so he's going to be able to hopefully make some plays for this team if things go south. Spike does get planted. Dark trying to spray down Crunchwrap Supreme. He realizes quickly he's there. Kind of gets body blocked by his own teammate, but the op will take care of that.
Cover going out.
Oh, they see Zero right through that smoke. Dog, I think, got underneath. And you hear, oh, the showstopper just barely missed. Oh.
One enemy remaining.
There's one left for the Lions. They know where Cats is. They're going to gain up on him and pull off a flawless of their own.
That rocket, that showstopper from Zero came so close to completely changing that round. I think could have got a potentially double kill up in heaven. And that might have won the round, but instead it's now 11-8, though this will be a bye round for the Lions, who again only need to find a way to win 2 rounds. Unfortunately, even if they win here, I think the Rabbits will have enough to buy back, so they're never going to be at an advantageous situation for the rest of this game.
There's Revealing area.
Korko starts things out by throwing out a dart onto A, trying to get some information if Kinetic is set up in heaven. He isn't right now. They're going to go for the plant fast. Try to set themselves up. Smoke off heaven, so it's going to be difficult for Kinetic to get some sort of sightline for the time being.
Here does break the door down. Trap Supreme gonna get underneath.
One off shot rings out. So now they know for sure that that sideline, that's a huge pick back onto Kinetic. Assuming none of the Rabbits pick up that off, knowing that the sniper's out is huge for the Lions. They are just probably gonna play this off of time. Yeah, use the orbital strike to make sure the spike detonates. Now they're at match point.
I thought maybe everyone was going to try and get away. Oh, can Ellie? Oh, I thought Ellie might have gotten another exit frag. Unfortunately, I thought like 3 people went down to the spike. A couple of them got picked off at the end. So not a clean win, but it is match point for the Lions finally. But again, they're not going to be in a great spot eco-wise. And if they lose, I mean, the Rabbits could really chain this into overtime potentially if they can find a win here.
They are going to have one blemish on their purchases. That is Korko's having to settle for the small shields. Kinetic back onto the op is not going to be swayed off of it. Can't blame him. He's got such a huge credit bank built up.
Yeah, win here for the Rabbits could mean the Lions only get one more full buy before overtime. And that's a great start as Dark finds a kill onto Korkos. The op going to rotate over, just barely misses a shot onto Jabe. Might find one more, but the smoke will go down. Cat's going to pick up one, but Kinetic will trade it out in mid. Zero, though, makes it a 3v3 with a kill in Garden.
Sneaking in. Oh, huge pick by Kinetic. Trap Supreme gets hit with the dart. Yeah, this is going to have to be. We're still in it for the long haul. Now up to 12-9.
This is most likely going to be. Well, those buys didn't look great before the replay there. They looked like 1 ARs and some pistols. I think the Lions are in a very interesting spot where, sure, you can play this round. If you don't get a thrifty, it's 12-10. I'm curious if maybe you don't save, maybe just wait for 12-11 before you spend all your credits. Set it up for like a win or go home kind of mentality, but we'll have to see what they want to do.
Oh, this is not a good situation for Jabe to be in.
Oh, there's the Valorant timing right there.
Oh, it's that nervous tick that so many players just find themselves on the wrong end of. They're peeking a corner and all of a sudden they decide, hey, yeah, now's a good time to pull out my knife.
Cats does get one, but Ellie will get the kill and the spike. Ooh, nice blind. Ooh, I don't know if I agree with the neural theft here, though they do lose Kinetic, so maybe it ends up working out. They lose Ellie as well. Oh no!
Oh! If only he knew.
If only.
Hey, but Zero has an AR here, so he's gonna throw. Oh, almost gets caught out in util.
Oh. Almost. Maybe that neural theft ended up being worth it. I felt in an eco round you could have held on to it, but it's now 12-10, and this could be the last buy for the Lions before overtime, or at least the last time they'll have even strength with the Rabbits before overtime.
Really here, this is kind of do or die because 12-11, yeah, they technically have one more round, but I mean, this is the last round where they're going to be on even footing with the Rabbits should overtime not be brought into play. They're going to go with a pretty quick charge on to B.
Ooh, the spy camp does slow things down with these knives from Crunch Trap Supreme, trying to get up in the air, taking a ton of damage. Kiko picks him up first, gets another.
Cat's trying to bring it back with a wallbang onto Kikkonen. Still moving through with the plant. And, oh, that's...
Great shooting by Dark. Dog just misses Cats in B main.
Last
Looks
player
away from the
standing.
Hawk.
Spike
One left
down
for
B.
Cats, a 4-on-1.
Oh!
Go. Gets him with the shorty, too. That was just so disappointing to watch. I mean, because no one, literally no one even thought to check Boathouse. I mean, you saw it start out with Crunchwrap Supreme using the knives in the updraft, but he turns to the right instead of the left. Doesn't think about Boathouse. He gets taken out because of that. Then the second person moving in, trying to plant the spike, doesn't keep Boathouse in mind, and Dark is just sitting back there, taking them out one at a time.
There's really a great spike cam dart by Kikkonen. Slowed down Crunchwrap Supreme. They did end up picking up 3 ARs for the Lions. It's, well, 2 ARs. But that was at least better than what I was expecting here for the last round before any potential overtime. But it's not starting off well, as Kinetic's now got 2, and it's 5v3, and the Rabbits are favored. Make it 5v2, thanks to Kinetic.
Yeah, I think just about now we're going into OT at this point.
This game was 11-3 at one point.
Looks like they have a disconnection.
That's a disconnection on the Rabbits, too. That's, you know, it's not like it's the Lions. That's even more impressive.
But they're still, even with 1 DC, they're at 4-2.
Cage triggered.
All you have to do is not get too flustered by that. Play the advantage. Kinetic almost getting an ace. Finds another.
Double ace for Kinetic this match. 12-12 from
Switching
11-3.
Overtime.
And we go to overtime. Does look like we will probably have a pause here, as we pointed out. But what a fantastic round by Kinetic. And I'll be curious in overtime if he tries to find a way to get an op.
Well, he should have the credits to buy an op every round. Because overtime generally gives you enough to do that, which is...
You could sacrifice big shields, though, right?
Yeah, but Kinetic, I mean, he has no problem just
That's
taking
true.
initial picks. I don't think
that is true. I knew you could get an op. I couldn't remember if there was a sacrifice or not. So we did have a pause, so hopefully looks like Ellie will be able to come back. But, yeah, that's the one thing. If Kinetic can buy an op every round, that doesn't look good for the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's... I think the Lions is just... You could argue it's defender favored. The conspiratorial people would say it's a 9-3 curse, but there are just so many times, I think, where the Lions had a good setup, but it's just coming down to the minor things. They're not checking all of their sidelines. They're leaving ones that are pretty commonly played. It's just not occurring to them. Either they get tunnel vision after one pick, and something's just evading them. They're going to go back on defense, so...
I mean, we might be here for a while, too, Jacob, because, I mean, the attackers only won 3 rounds each when attacking. This could be overtime until somebody finds a way to win on attack. You know, we could be like 2020 at some point. It's like, please, someone find a way to win on attack. Will be the Rabbits attacking first. Have not got a chance to see what Kinetic is bringing to the table. Dog comes out, does get a great stun onto Crunchwrap, but they can't quite finish him off. Only taking a little bit of damage. Nice blind.
Smoke thrown out. Defense, Doorman fires through, and this is very crucial if Rabbits can get a win on attack. The Crunchwrap Supreme gets a double. It's back to 3 apiece.
Oh, Cats just saw Kinetic, and now the door is going to close on him. He can't shoot it. But he ended up getting caught in a reload as well, so Zero's kind of all alone. Peeks the smoke, and Ellie finds him. Nice shock dart there from Corkles, but that's only one person. You've got to get to a spike, and there's 2 set up with Dark and Kinetic.
Revealing area.
1 enemy remaining.
Dark is also taking kind of an unconventional angle on top of the boxes. It's just not enough time for the Lions to do anything on a 1-3. Moves in immediately, gets taken out, and the Rabbits go to 13-12.
Switching sides. Match
All right, match point for the Rabbits. Who thought we would be in this scenario 10 rounds ago?
I got to hand it to them. They pulled off multiple thrifties. Kinetic's gotten 2 aces in the second half.
I mean, look at that second half scoreboard.
Now, since statistically both these teams haven't been too successful on their attacks, the fact that Rabbits got their attack win and can now win on
Spike
defense
down
here is
A.
pretty huge. I would say the advantage is darn well in their favor.
They also get first blood as well. Kinetic went up to peak, but it was actually Ellie who finished it off. Fantastic job there. Ellie doing a smart play, going to take care of the door in case the Lions do find their way in. Kinetic picks up Zero. Dog does hit Crunchwrap Supreme. We'll see if he chooses to peek. Nice smoke up on Heaven.
2 smokes.
That's how important Kinetic is. Oh,
And he still can't be stopped.
all right, the 1v5 miracle here for Crunchwrap Supreme. Kinetics got the shorty.
My ult's ready.
Well,
Just get some damage. And that's going to do it.
Wow.
Defenders win.
All right. I didn't have Rabbits winning at that point halfway through that match, but here we are. They claim game 1.
Going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. I mean, I think the fact that you can just take a thrifty round with nothing but classics for 1 round for the Rabbits shows that they stuck through it as a team, no matter how dire the situation looked, and it paid off for them. You can see how talented they are in Esports Tower. It really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Shout out to Coach Holter, and for those of you watching who haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's the fast track to rank up. Well, the Rabbits kick off our evening with a Game 1 win. But now we are going to be going into the new stage. Lotus is coming up right after this break, so we're not going to want to miss that. See if the Lions can bring it back after this.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
You take really strong players from disparate communities and you put them together on teams with expert coaching.
So you mean to tell me by all the hands in the room, everybody in here is that top 2%?
It's ultimate. It's a 1v1. It proceeds to the last moment.
It's not every day that you're a kid like me and you get to have this experience.
Something. He gets one.
This boot camp is really about finding out every weakness.
There's no such thing as a big mistake at this level.
I have people in the crowd there cheering my name on. I have to give them a show.
That feeling of just being up on stage and having a whole crowd of people, it's unbeatable.
1v1, but... Oh, why would you pick him?
I love this. I want to do this every day.
You didn't make a choice, so you were just looking at things.
If you want to go pro, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Jump up and down, you're a crowd, you're casters. It's a transformational experience.
That was a light switch, and now I see what it's all about.
A lot of players here right now are caught up in winning their tournaments 5-10 years down the road. They're not going to remember who won.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. And the Rapids claimed Game 1 in overtime in a spectacular comeback. Can they get the sweep on Lotus, or will the Lions force us to a Game 3? I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Michael Fisher, still calling all the action for you here today. Fish, we're just about ready to get into Game 2 on the new stage, which is Lotus. But before we get to that, we also want to take a moment to congratulate all of our Esports Tower Club members who've graduated from their clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last year, Esports Tower Club members have reached over $4.5 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but also academically, and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. And of course, I got to say, after the reports we saw by the Rapids, I would say there's probably more people in line for some scholarships.
Yeah, I think that number's only going to go up, especially with how some of our Rapids players played. I mean, Kinetic was obviously fantastic. Ellie had some fantastic rounds as well. I think Dark played strong. I mean, I think at this point, I mean, I know you've got to tell us what Doc's keys are, but at this point I want to add, don't count the Rapids out until that score says 13 to whatever, because it was 11-3 at one point. I was doubting them, and I don't even know what to say. Don't let Kinetic buy the op. Can you ban weapons in this game? Like, can we add a ban mode, maybe?
I know they wish they could, but unfortunately they can't take that piece of advice. But they can take these pieces of advice. It's Doc's keys to the game in Valorant. It's to flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and click heads. Kinetic having no problem with that.
Yeah, kill Kinetic would be Fish's key to the game. Make sure Kinetic is dead as soon as possible, because otherwise he'll ace you. We've seen it done twice.
It's all brought to you by Esports Tower. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. We head to Lotus with the Rabbits on match point. Will the Lions force a Game 3? We're about ready to find out. I think the biggest problem for the Lions is they just got to know their angles and sidelines. It's a bit more, you probably excuse it a bit more on Lotus because it's a new stage, and, you can say, I'm still learning it, not sure of every possible thing that can be. But Ascent's been around for so long, and they just failed repeatedly again and again to take some of the most common, just check some of the most common sidelines, and it really allowed the Rabbits to sneak up on them.
No, I think you're totally right. There were definitely a couple times. I think a couple of, Kinetic's kills were definitely one of those where it's like he's right there. Like, obviously, we have the hindsight of knowing where they are on the spectator tool, but it's like he's in a standard corner. Maybe check that corner. So with Lotus being new, I know we played it last week, but this might be one where maybe there are going to be some unfamiliar corners for both of these teams as we hop into round one. Cat's waiting here. He's got a great lineup. Little does he know, as we do see him pick up one. Kinetic will gun him down, so it's a 1-for-1 trade.
3 to 4. The spike is going to be dropped, and that's not a good start for the Rabbits. Abe also peeking around the corner, gets the flank onto Pyro, sets up his teleporter, and now has C locked down. Rabbits did manage to grab the spike and are going to run back through spawn toward A. They're going to be meeting up with Rezkin. Can he take the 1-on-2?
He's going to find... well, he's not going to find anything but sadness, unfortunately.
That was rough to see.
30 seconds left.
Still 2 apiece, though, so... Guntrap Supreme is just going to use his own molly for some healing. And wow, he's healing. Rabbits are able to move on toward B and get the plant.
Yeah, this is just going to be a round of missed opportunities if the Rabbits end up pulling this off. But you do have Jabe, who was phenomenal in Ascent, especially at the start. A big reason why the Lions jumped out to that early lead. So we'll see if he's maybe able to clutch round one. Oh, he sees Ekanon, now tries to bait the defuse.
He's going to get caught out by the dart. A third bait on the defuse. Now he's going to try to stick it, and that is amazing patience by the Rabbits. Not falling. for all of those baits and waiting for the actual defuse.
That was a great sight. That was a great plant too. I mean, it was a great sight line that Kikenon had the entire time, so they didn't really have to worry about the plan. They said, okay, Kikenon can quick jiggle peek, get back behind the pillars. So a fantastic, really just job by the Rabbits on round one. But again, you have to wonder what happens if Rezkin gills at least one, then it's only up to maybe Kinetic and a 1-on-2. But you can't worry about that. You just gotta push forward into round two.
Here.
Dart thrown out immediately. It's going to spot out 0. Initial push by Rabbit seems to be up through mid. Slowly to get the ult orb, it is going to go over to their Sova.
And this is what we saw kind of plague the Rabbits on attack on Ascent when they struggle to get information with their util. They kind of get stuck together with really out any direction.
Wall thrown out by the Harbor. 0 once again. Dart gets the pick onto Jabe. Seems like the Lions are really just having some trouble with their crosshair placement and head clicking to start things out.
Last player standing.
Kinetic gets a pair. It's all up to Cats. He'll push through the wall, at least get one for his team, but the Raps will pick up a second. And they'll go up 2-0.
Now here's the chance for the Lions to bring this all back, considering that they are going to get all their ARs here. And yeah, this is just a problem that was in both of their games. It seems like they're just having trouble getting one shot. That one's a little bit more, you know, just a shorty is the shorty. Sometimes doesn't work out for you. But in this case, Lions need to make sure that they have their crosshair placement locked down. They're not even going to get the full purchase here.
Might be a confusing spot for the Rabbits because they're winning, unlike most of last map where they were literally trailing until overtime. I say that in jest, of course. I think both these teams are more than prepared. As we do some
great stun.
Getting a couple, that was huge for them.
Clearing out.
All that util is going to send the Rabbits moving back to their own spawn. Now deciding on what's the next point they want to try to push.
Can't use this yet.
Looks like the call is going to be brought out onto B. It's going to be the chamber that they have to go up against. Oh, why? Why?
Well, they walked right into a death trap.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
Pyros throws out the flash now, but I think it's too little too late. Lions take that. I mean, that was just I mean, I need some I need some water here because that was probably the driest of peaks I've ever seen from the Rabbits trying to push on to B. I mean, I know you're down 3-5, but you certainly aren't helping matters with how slow they moved around that corner.
It was a classic Hold W moment from the Rabbits. We're just gonna, you know, sometimes you can throw people off if you just kind of run through a smoke, if you run through a peak like that. But yeah, it didn't even come close to working out. We do see Jabe already on the op. We'll see if it gives him as much luck as it brought Kinetic.
Gun's going to be thrown out. That's going to bait out one shot, trying to take the engage while he's in reload. It's going to force him to teleport back, but he's still got a great sideline and picks up Kikenon.
Zero can't quite get back around that wall in time. Ooh. Oh. I think unfortunately Crunchwrap's brain just jiggled a little bit too much. Oh, I thought he had.
Spike down
I thought he had
A.
the two for there.
Teleport's ready.
They're moving up through the wall. As long as that holds, he's going to be neutralized somewhat.
Spike planted.
Just want him to take the shot, but he doesn't know.
I suggest you
behind the wall is even more sight denial.
Last player standing.
All up to Jabe now.
Hey, that's what your controller's for. Jabe hasn't been able to do anything because there's just so much in his way. Does spot out Dark, has to get close range now. The headhunter gets one. So less time the wall.
They peek opposite ways. Dark knows he just has to buy time. Nice fake on the defuse. Dark gets the kill. I know it was a 2v1, and I actually don't know if Dark, he did pick up the op. I feel like he probably should have just ran there if you were Jabe.
At this point, it's...
I feel like giving the op over to Kinetic was not for free, was not worth it.
Yeah, that is true, actually. Of course, you have to wonder how much mileage Kinetic is going to get because this is a much newer stage, and you could tell he was just more than comfortable with all the sidelines he knew on Ascent. So it might be a different story, and it's going to be actually an op battle with the Tour de Force being brought out by Jabe.
Well, it does make a bit more sense on why Jabe wanted to hand it over, but my point still stands. Maybe we don't hand Kinetic the op. Especially after game one. I don't care if there were no sightlines on this map. After the way Kinetic played in game one with the op, I'm telling you, you try and ban that man from getting the op as much as you can, not give it to him for free.
But hey, who needs an op when you have a Bucky and you're going 1-on-5 on C?
I believe in you, cats. The Al drone ruins everything, unfortunately. A couple of shots come out.
But he gets such good stuns with his util. He's going to be able to hold the rabbits at bay. Does get detected and suppressed, and
but he held
that
it off.
one knife. Yeah, they're going to retreat. So
I'd call that an absolute win for sure. Cats has been playing really well this series. A couple of great ults last map as well.
30 seconds left.
And they're going to activate the door. Move through it. On to A.
Crunchtrap Supreme is actually going to get set up here. Unfortunately, he's stuck with just a pistol.
My ult's ready.
Only going to be the gun distance that looks like it might do it for the rabbits.
One suppressed. Repairing.
One enemy remaining.
The only thing left is just this Bucky that
Get
we were
in there.
talking about.
He tried. He got surrounded. The teams, I will say, the teams have definitely learned from really what was like, I think, the fall and spring seasons where you'd have an opportunity, a situation like that, it's like a 1v3, 1v4, and they would just push one and then one, and then we saw some crazy clutches. So I will say, big shout out to the Rabbits. They have learned, let's just four-man dive this player and not let him have a pop-off moment.
Right here.
As we head into round 6. Both
Right here.
teams even in terms of the amount of ultimates they have. Another push toward A is going to head out. Kenan trying to take some peeks with the Owl Drone. Might catch Jabe, but doesn't have enough time. The Owl Drone expires.
Revealing area.
Ooh.
Nice lineup. Someone's been practicing.
All right, nice little lineup. Oh, Jabe gets 1, 2.
Oh!
Crunchtrap get another one. They are able to get Pyro back, though, so unfortunately one of Jabe's kills is nullified, though Crunchtrap is in a really good spot if they try and flip this wall.
All right, we'll see if maybe the wall can turn things around for Crunchtrap. If he decides to even use it, they're just going to retreat. Reskin gets the idea they might be rotating up and might be able to catch them by surprise. He indeed does. Gets one.
Down B.
Almost has two. He only got a little bit of damage onto Keegan.
Cats does get a nice chunk of damage.
30 seconds
Unfortunately
left.
does get hit there, so they are going to have to now dodge the Sova.
Oh, that's a great line to take me off.
Spike down
and
C.
great use of the running back as well.
I have the spike.
Keekinen now with the spike and a dream gets taken out, and now the Lions can pick back up the op that they purchased a few rounds ago. I'm sure, though, that Kinetic has enough credits by now he can buy another one for himself, but it's little victories at a time.
Actually, we'll be curious if Kinetic wants to buy his own op, or yeah, okay, we can see him now. He definitely did buy his own op. Believe, at least at the start, it looks like they tossed the op over to Crunchwrap Supreme, but it potentially looks like it's gotten back in Jabe's hands at this point. Yeah, not Crunchwrap Supreme, sorry, Zero. Zero's on the jet this round.
Cats moves back after getting spotted out by the dart. He's been doing a pretty respectable job of holding C solo this time. There hasn't been one plant on C thus far.
Yeah, I think the C defense for Cats has been phenomenal. We did just see Kinetic, unfortunately, for one of the rare times today, miss an off shot.
Teleport's ready.
Jabe ready to hold down A. The problem is he might be going up against Kinetic with the op. Kinetic turns around. They've decided to go back onto C.
Cat's time to shine again. But he's actually retreating off C, unfortunately.
Cover going out. Blinding.
Uses the Rolling Thunder, is going to move in. A lot of them get stunned. He gets one off of it.
Spike down, C.
Now moving to get two on the great headshot. 3.
30 seconds left.
More util thrown
One
out.
enemy remaining.
Oh, Help Zero gets the pick with a bit of damage from a wallbang. And that does it. It's just about as perfect a Rolling Thunder as you can get.
Yeah, phenomenal job by Cats. We talked about how well his C defense was, and
now
played perfectly.
Now we also know why he's been pushed on to C. He has such a compact point that Rolling Thunder gets everything.
Yeah, he absolutely popped off. I think we're going to get a great replay here of this Rolling Thunder. He's been holding on to it, and as you said, he's going to hit, I believe, actually everyone, as you said, and then he just gets an easy triple kill here. Great shooting there on the smoke, and then picks up one more onto Darman.
Not only that, but also helped Zero out on his pick. Getting a bit of damage around the corner onto that jet. Now the Lions, with a bit of momentum in their favor, are going to force the Rabbits to... Kinetic is off the op, using his knives, and immediately gets taken out.
Unfortunately, I saw him. Cat had it off. He earned it for sure, and he's going to pick up a kill. Crunchwrap Supreme has one as well, the rare double off. As Keegan is going to pick up one. Crunchwrap Supreme. He'll finish him off with the pistol, and the wall will go down to create some space.
I like that molly toss.
They walk right into Jade.
I am not cleaning this up.
There you go. I think all the early wrinkles have been ironed out, so to speak, for the Lions, because now they've got two ops. They're going double sniper.
Hey, when you only had to pay for one of them, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of them, despite holding an op, has over 8,500 credits, so got money to spare. Absolutely rolling in it.
Oh, remember, it's poor Jabe's op is one of them. They got his op back, and they didn't even give it to him. How rude.
He's going to get his presence detected. Sidesteps the wall, though.
Ooh. See him kind of tracking where he thought Dark was going to be, but Dark had the better peek.
Blinding.
I suggest you move.
Arbor ult brought out by the Rabbits.
Bye.
Zero's just going to stand in the face of danger, take out Keekinen.
Ooh, Crunchwrap has a good angle. Oh! What a flick. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I thought he was going to miss both of them. Kinetic is going to sneak up on Cats, at least.
How many times have we seen, possible picks taken away because they look away at the last moment? But that was probably one of the greatest recoveries I have ever seen from Crunchwrap. Did not let him face him one bit.
The flick onto that KO was absolutely filthy. Then he finds another one onto the Sage. Should probably get another look at it here from the replay. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, here's the point. I thought for sure he just didn't hold the sideline long enough, but just to get one. And I'm still wondering how that Sage managed to get the Sage. I think the Sage is more impressive, actually.
Oh, Jay, they gave him the op, and he immediately got rushed. Fortunately, A will be relatively open.
Watch them run.
Oh.
Spike planted.
Nick picks up the op, ends up getting one for his own. It's a 4v2, and Rabbit's going to be looking to tie this game up at 5-5.
Kinetic back on the trusty op.
And this was a gift from Jabe, if you will.
Ooh, could get stuck here.
Nowhere to run.
Hunter's Fury.
For the post plan.
Tried to stick it. Kinetic comes out of the smoke, picks one up, and it's 5-5.
Good news for the Lions is that they had such a credit surplus that they're going to be able to buy this round, probably next round as well, actually. So it's going to be a little while before an eco round kicks in.
Yeah, Jabe's really the only one hurting for credits they lose. I don't know how close he is to the Tour de Force, but if he's close enough, then obviously he does not need too many credits next round. But yeah, other than him, everyone else, as you said, probably can buy 2 rounds in a row. Ooh, we got an off for Crunchwrap Supreme. He's had a couple of good moments with it so far. We'll see if he can make a play with his own op for the first time.
Weak.
Ooh.
Cat.
Starts things off right, getting the pick on the Kinetic. Jabe following it up, takes out Kikkonen. Dark Angels is back, takes out Jabe. Rezkin is going to smoke off A while he repositions, tries to get a better sight line. And this Rez could be very crucial as it evens things up again.
And unfortunately for the
Stealing sight.
Lions, there was no punish on that Rez. Well, they are able to set up close around A. They do have Zero and Cats coming on a flank here, depending on how quick they can get there. You can hear the spike going down. Rezkin, oh, he kind of gets divided. He's trying to find the Sage. Finally does, but gets taken out by Pyro. There's Crunchwrap with one. The run it back, going to keep him alive.
Headshot.
One enemy remaining.
Crunchwrap gets one with the Sheriff, no less, and one final op shot. It's going to give him 2 ops again. Lions, the only one they can really give it to is the Phoenix, so they're going to let him have the ult point.
Rezkin was so close here. If he had just picked an angle a little bit sharper, he would have at least gotten one. They did do a good chunk of damage to the Sage, and then Crunchwrap has phenomenal run it back usage has been great, and then Cat's probably a little confused why he wasn't on C personally, but you know, he got the job done.
Now the Lions are going to have 2 ops on defense, back to their dominant credit position, and only one chance here to end this half with a lead. Rabbits need to tie this up. And a bit of bouncy dart is going to be thrown out through B mid to start things off.
Crunchwrap getting very aggressive. Unfortunately, C is not the way to go. Tour de Force going to be rolled out here by Jay. We'll see if he can get a kill as the wall comes in on him.
You are powerless.
I suggest you move.
Every ult coming out in this final round is Jabe able to pick up one onto Pyro. We'll see if his team can get the revive onto the KO. Looks like they will be able to.
Get out of my way.
Let's go.
There's another Rolling Thunder.
Teleport's ready.
Spike down.
He's going to get taken out right after he uses it by Kikkonen. That is a nice pick by Jay. Still within his wheelhouse.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
It's all up to Jabe. He gets one.
One enemy.
Oh
Make
my
it two.
goodness!
Spike down A.
Pulls out the tour de force. Darman will finish him off, however, so we will go to the second half. That's 6-6.
Switching sides.
My power does not.
So just about as even, kind of an inverse of the first round, because the first round had a huge lead when we were heading into overtime, but now it's hard to call it for either team. Do you think Jabe did about a good job as he could here trying to hold this site down? Ultimately got a triple for himself, almost won a 3-on-1. And it's such a great flick there with the Phantom. I don't know if you bring out the tour de force in that close range.
The problem was he ran out of bullets, and so he didn't know if he was going to get pushed on, so he didn't want to get caught reloading. I think in hindsight, obviously, he had time to reload. I'm with you, but it did look like from that replay he actually was forced to reload. That's why he probably switched to the tour de force. Reloading is very punishing in Valorant usually, as Darman gets caught in the wall. And the Lions pick up 2 right away, maybe 3 if Dart can finish him off. He will.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
And
there you go.
All right. I think the biggest telling sign for this round will be if the Rabbits have someone who can hold C as effectively and as efficiently as Cats did.
And talking about holding here is, I don't know how well this Sova is going to play dividends here on defense on Lotus, because everything is just so enclosed here. You got to have your lineups perfectly, and even then, you know, there are just points that you can't even get to with your lineups. Like B is completely out of regards in terms of if you're attacking, can you put a dart on it?
Knife does get destroyed from the KO, so not much information going to go over to the Rabbits. Kinetic's going to get hit by the smoke and the flash. So Crunch Rapid Debris able to take him out. It's all of a sudden a 5-on-3.
Spike planted.
Start on to A. Cats picks off Kikkonen, now 4-2.
Last player standing.
Cats gets another one, and it's all up to Darman on the stage. Does see Cats, but unfortunately can't take him out with just the pistol.
Now this could be quite the bonus round for the Lions, especially in the fact that Cats decided to go for that Vandal. It's a risky purchase going into second round, but now he's looking great for the third. This Odin purchase by Darman.
Oh, he refunded it.
Oh,
we got excited for nothing. Yeah, Cats, I think Cats in Ascent, at least in one of the rounds also, went AR in the second round. So clearly an aggressive player who has had good luck. We do see Kikkonen actually does have the Odin.
An early wall to just take B out of the equation. They're going to have to either use the wall to move towards C or break down that Sage wall. Going to give away their position if they do, however. Ooh, and Kinetic is just waiting here on the other side of this wall. Thinks he is actually going to go for the flank through spawn.
Ooh, he gets one, even with Crunchtrap Supreme looking that direction. Kinetic still able to pick that up is huge, so it is a 4v4. Pyro throws out the flash. Unfortunately, was a bit too early.
Oh, he gets caught in the reload. Darman gets one pick onto Jade. Oh, how he managed to get away with one pick there.
He did have Dark behind him.
30 seconds left.
Skin trying to bring this back, trying to find a possible plant on C, keeping that wall in mind, but no one's there to rotate through it.
I mean, they've got to throw it down at some point. They really don't have an ability to relocate.
Scanning ahead.
They.
All right. That's a long lineup.
You were saying he had to have his lineups down. I think he's done
He
his homework.
does.
Oh my goodness.
Flash out.
Nice double flash from Katz. It's a 1v1 inverse Darman. Darman's already won once. He just brute peeks the wall, however, and Katz with the 4-piece clutches it up for the Lions.
It all goes back to that Vandal purchase on the second round. He was the one who could stand toe-to-toe against the Rabbits. And now with the Lions winning their bonus round, things are looking great for them. Of course, we know what happened last round, and things are looking great for the Lions as well.
It's too early to tell, of course. If you missed it, the Rabbits came back from down 11-3 on Ascent, end up winning in overtime. So, yeah, I don't think you can count the Rabbits out yet, but
I think that's one of the few times in Valorant you're going to say, thank goodness for the wide spray there, because he just aimed in between both of them.
that was such a great double flash, too. These lineups have been really good, though. Oh.
Yeah, see, it's just,
I think
for every successful one, it's just pretty brutal here with how enclosed the stage can be.
A couple of suppresses, unfortunately, just working with pistols, though Pyro does pick up one, but will get taken out by Rezkin. Kinetic with the Stinger trying for something creative here on a flank onto A.
Spike planted.
They just give all the time over to the Lions. They successfully plant. Now it can go on to post-plant. Initial glance being exchanged through A long.
Oh.
Blocking fire.
Last player standing.
Possible flank. Attempted to be brought out, but doesn't work out. Now 10-6 for the Lions.
Lions starting to run out of time here. Kinetic has not been able to settle in on the op, which of course was a big reason why they were so successful in game one. We do see Jade with an op on defense, and plenty of credits for the Lions in case things go south here. At least Lions team feels like they have Lotus pretty well figured out, at least so far.
Dashed away by Kinetic, trying to get him out of this 5-on-1. Throws down the smoke, doing everything he can to get away, but gets hit in the back.
Oh, Rolling Thunder. Kiko does make it 1-for-1 with that trade. Kinetic still running and able to get away. So a great job, at least able to survive. Now let's see if he can turn it around on the post plant.
Pyros, good start. Pick to 0.
Not ready yet. Cover, cover.
Throws out smoke. York gets to pick on the crunch wrap. This looks like it's going to be the Rabbits' first major win, but Jade.
Oh, he hit the wrong
Holding
person.
things from a distance. Has to survive through here or else he's going to lose that op. And it goes back over to Kinetic, which is the worst case scenario.
He just unfortunately hit the wrong person. He hit Dark while Darman was defusing. But, you know, as you said, a free op to Kinetic is never a good spot to be. But Jabe has the credits to just buy himself another one. So we'll see if he can win the op off with Kinetic. I think he's 0-for-1 right now. We'll see if he can make that a 1-for-1.
Pyro's just holding down the sideline. And he's the one who gets damage, however. Kinetic back to doing what we know Kinetic for, getting the first pick on the op.
Spike planted.
Crunchwrap does take him out, however, so both op users down, and Crunchwrap green mows through the team. And it's 11-7.
So now we're back to that crucial break point that Lions were at last round. They got up to 11 and then couldn't pull it out from there on out, so they've have even less room for error at this point. So I think they They just can't really get too careless, especially on the rounds they're forcing Rabbits onto a save.
Let me show you
Especially, you know, I was impressed enough that the Rabbits could land headshots with the Classics on Ascent, but with how much more close quarters everything is here on Lotus, those Classics might be a threat.
Ooh, Kinetic had the knives. Gets quickly taken out by Crunchtrap Supreme. Already down 2. There is a res available for Darman on the Sage.
Spike planted.
I don't know if he'll be able to get there. He should be able to get to one of them in time at least.
Last player standing.
It might not matter. Zero picks up 2, kills Darman in the process. And what does Kikkonen have in store besides being surrounded? Not much.
Now a flawless Sabrina 12-2-7. Lions don't look like they're having really much of any of the problems that they had last round. I have to wonder how much credits the Rabbits are going to have in this final round, being forced onto a save round at this point. Yeah, it isn't ideal at all. A few Sheriffs.
Take 1 Spectre and 1 AR for Kinetic.
Get out of my way.
The knives are just going to be ripped by Crunchtrap Supreme right or Zero, excuse me. Right off the gate.
Joke's over. You're dead.
There's Crunchtrap Supreme's ult right on cue.
Gets a ping onto Crunchtrap, just takes him out. Or at least they run it back.
Unfortunately, it didn't do much but take out the clone. The Owl Drone gets a ton of info though.
I mean, what could be just most crucial here is that they've already gotten the spike down and have a lot of time to play with. The problem is that Kinetic could get the potential flank. Oh, Jave takes him out. That's huge. He can now post-plant.
Not ready yet.
Problem is those bullets are going to be blocked by that harbor wall. He has to move in. Oh, and they just stick it.
Great job by the Rabbits to stick it. Oh, Crunchtrap pulling up a top double there at the end, which helps because the Rabbits eco was already kind of in a bad spot. So taking a couple more guns off the table, huge. And yeah, that harbor wall, as you said, pretty much the deciding factor.
Well, now the real problem is that Kinetic has decided to go back to Old Faithful and buy an op, so the Lions have to face down their demons if they want to win this.
Standing ahead.
Nice lineup to start things off. It's going to get a pin onto a whole bunch of people.
Great start for Kikkonen.
Oh, and he predicts wall usage too.
Ooh, nice little flick there on the Crunchtrap Supreme. We'll see if Zero is able to make a play. Zero's got to be careful.
Just sidesteps through that smoke. Oh.
I mean, all the while, Reskin is getting a plant down on B, so Zero bought his team a ton of time. But it is a 5v3 on this defense. Maybe Cats can change that. No, we cannot. It's a 5v2.
Okay, Jade has his own op. Oh, and it's chill. Might have an op duel between him and Kinetic.
You get the revive, unfortunately. Ooh, Reskin picks up 1. Make it 2.
Oh my goodness,
Whoa.
3, and that's it!
Oh, wow.
Whoa! In a situation where it's not ideal. Oh, wow, that's a great job there by the Lions. Finding a way to clutch it. If you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to show exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. I was not expecting that turnaround to happen, especially on B. I mean, that's not an ideal position for an op at all, but he made it work.
Well, for both teams, right? Because you had an op on Jay, but you had an op on Kinetic, so you have to wonder maybe that cost him. You saw the shorties going out. Kinetic, unfortunately, just didn't have a close enough range on Redskin. But yeah, the Lions faced their demons. They tied the series, and now we go winner take all the split.
Yep, it's going to go all the way down to Split. Lions had a great turnaround on Lotus with the win over the Rabbits, so we'll head to Split to see who wins the decider game right after this break, so you're not going to want to go away.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
You take really strong players from disparate communities and you put them together on teams with expert coaching.
So you mean to tell me by all the hands in the room, everybody in here is that top 2%?
It's ultimate. It's a 1v1. It proceeds to the last bullet.
It's not every day that you're a kid like me and you get to have this experience.
Something. He gets one.
This boot camp is really about finding out every weakness.
There's no such thing as a big mistake at this level.
I have people in the crowd there cheering my name on. I have to give them a show.
That feeling of just being up on stage and having a whole crowd of people, it's unbeatable.
1v1, but why would you pick him?
I love this. I want to do this every day.
You didn't make a choice, so you were just looking at things.
If you want to go pro, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Jump up and down, hear a crowd, hear casters. It's a transformational experience.
That was a light switch, and now I see what it's all about.
A lot of players here right now are caught up in winning their tournaments 5-10 years down the road. They're not going to remember who won.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Into the Esports Tower Winter Rumble. The Lions extended the series on Lotus, so we head to a do-or-die Game 3 for both of our teams on Split. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Michael Fisher to call all of the action for you here tonight. Now we head on to the stage that's made its grand return in this competitive season. Split is back with a whole bunch of new changes. Do you have any predictions whatsoever on who might be favored here?
Oh, man, this is so tough because it felt like game one. And really, from what we watched, felt like game one should have gone to the Lions. I know the Rabbits, I think, were up 4-1 at one point on game two and then kind of just let that one slip away. I mean, I really think this game is going to come down to how quickly can Kinetic get the up. If he gets it early, if he goes maybe pushes for a round 3 up, which you know you can do if you get some early kills, it might be over. They might just dominate one half and coast to a victory. But if Kinetic struggles to find ways to buy the op, this Rabbits team has struggled when he is not just one-shotting everyone on the map. So that would be my one key. How quickly can Kinetic get the up?
It's going to be a game that kind of dances around that. And If he can get the op pretty early on, we might just have a very quick game looking before us here.
I mean, yeah, if he, like I said, if he gets the op round 3, my prediction would be 10-2 at the half, honestly. That would be my prediction.
Well, I don't know what advice to give to the team that has to face Kinetic on the op, except for Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, which is going to be to flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and of course click heads. It's all brought to you by Esports Tower. Score Pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So ready to head into the final game of the night. The Lions did a fantastic job surviving an early deficit in game 2 to rally back and tie the series. Can they do it again? They almost, had it not gone so disastrously wrong for them on Ascent, they could have just ended it last game. It really is such a testament to how great the Rabbits were and how much the Lions dropped the ball on the first game on Ascent, which I'm sure they don't want to go back to this stage and remember what happened, but it is the reason why we are here at game 3.
Yeah, this is the Ascent game will haunt the Lions forever if they're not able to close out the series because they were so close. And now we will see again. The big player to watch, of course, is Kinetic for the Rabbits. If you're the Lions fan, I think Cats has been playing phenomenally, so has Jabe. Those are 2 members to really keep your eyes on here as we kick things off.
Question is, can you just kind of stunt that early credit gain by Kinetic to make sure he doesn't get an op?
Ooh. A lot of early damage on the Crunchwrap Supreme.
Kinetic already making his way through onto tower, gets 1 pick. Does take a lot of damage, though. Both of the Jets took damage, excuse me.
Ooh, Kinetic finds the second one. Might find a third on a Jabe on ropes. I think he heard him, and yeah, that's a third for Kinetic. They are not following the Fish and Jacob keys to the game, which is deny Kinetic
if Kinetic
income.
gets an ace here, I don't...
It's going to come with a round 2 op. They are going to go for a long rotate over towards B. I think this is a good call for the Rabbits.
30 seconds left.
Reskin might... I'm curious where he goes from mid. If Reskin goes through garage, he might actually have a decent flank, but he's actually going to join Crunchwrap up in tower.
This Crunchwrap is only down to 22, and this really favors Kinetic at this point. Just wait for this peak to come out. Takes him out. One last chance for an op. An ace. I'm already thinking ahead because this is the worst case scenario you could have possibly had.
Oh no, he's just short. He actually... I was curious if he would try and save the guarantee, but he'll be a team player. He'll pick up the Marshall and his trusty shorty.
You know what? I'm still terrified of him with the Marshall, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, I mean, any sniper of any kind I think is scary on him. About 3 aces this series for Kinetic. Hey, 1 kill and he can just rip knives.
Knives round 2 immediately ripped.
I don't think he will, but that could have been the play if he really wanted a hard eco for the...
oh, okay.
Shells just didn't make it there, unfortunately. Ooh, Reskin's got a shorty, little does he know. Dark will take him out. Kinetic finds another. Oh! Might have been a misplay there by Crunchwrap. I don't think he would have intended to dash into the enemies. Ooh, Cat's on a flank.
The only possible reason I can think of, he was trying to close the distance since he had a shorty.
Ooh, nice kill there for Cats.
Last player standing.
Paros will take him down, and it's all up to Jabe, who unfortunately had everything set up on B. And now we'll have to rotate over. And Pyro will pick up the kill, and it's 2-0 right away for the Rabbits.
Well, the question is how much of a, you were saying Kinetic was kind of a team player last time. Well, you know, I don't think he has to buy the op this round too. He can just bonus, especially now that he has the knives as well. Up to 7-0 in just 2 rounds.
As much as I was hoping for the round 3 op, I do think the Spectre and the bonus is the better play.
Yes, this should do.
They do heavily defend A with Jabe this time.
Cage triggered.
Fortunately, Zero didn't even get a AR like you would expect in round 3.
Well, that's really rough for Jabe. He's going to drop his gun. They're going to pick it up. Wall heads up to take Zero out of the picture. And this is also what should be a full purchase for the Lions. You see Zero only with the Sheriff. He gets taken out.
That's going to take the wall down as Rezkin does pick a quick kill on the dart.
And he gets cocked util.
Last player standing.
Oh.
It's a 2v1, but Kinetic's going to finish the job, and the Rabbits, they're maybe lamenting a little bit after they had an early lead on Lotus and let that one slip away and miss the sweep. They're now up 3-0, and again, I think we're just really waiting for the scoreboard flash of Kinetic with the op. He could pull it out at any time, honestly.
He still has the knives as well for a rainy day.
Yeah.
I think at this point, you know, a timeout might be in order because it starts like this where it just comes down to a game like this and you have such kind of, I have to say, disastrous start because Kinetic is getting so, well, okay, you know what? Maybe they don't need a timeout and I should just shut up and watch.
A great headshot by Crunchwrap Supreme. It did not look like Kinetic had the op. He had gone AR, so unfortunately Crunchwrap will be a little disappointed it's a Vandal, not an op in his inventory, but he'll take it nonetheless. But Dark was ready for it. Keegan going to pick up a second as well, and the Rabbits say, we don't just need Kinetic, we can do it ourselves.
Moving on to A. Gonna get the plant pretty comfortably. Zero to peek around, taking on Pyros. Gets him.
Free gun. It's what the Lions need.
Bomb buddy out. Last player standing.
Oh. Great pick onto Cats. And now Jabe is... He knows there's a gun up there at least. Question is, can he pick it up without being shot?
Right, gets it. He's trying to take it with the Sheriff. Nope.
Close.
Okay, so now I can go back to my original point. So I was just going to say, you know, with this thing starting out as lopsided as they are, I would think that a timeout has to be brought out sooner or later just to kind of just to make sure that the Lions' mental doesn't go down too well, because it's times like this when you can really start to see mistakes be brought out, heading in one at a time. It's just, you got to make sure you don't get tilted from situations like this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if they lose this round, I'm calling a timeout. I mean, they were down 4-1 on Lotus. Now Kinetic has the op, and Crunchwrap Supreme is made well aware of that fact. So we have the Garage rematch, and this time Kinetic comes out on top. Now he'll find a second in mid. But the problem is, I mean, I'm with you, but what do you do in the timeout? Find a way to steal the op from Kinetic via your telepathic powers?
But I mean, even then, moving through the smoke in mid as a defender, I mean,
True.
it's that's just kind of the gameplay. It's not even just trying to find a way to take the op away from Kinetic. It's just let's not make mistakes like that. Sometimes you just need to be reminded of that and take a breather.
Saw a couple of thrifties from the Rabbits on Ascent. Let's see here. The Lions have one as Rezkin goes down. Cats will find the first kill of the round and get a quick peek from Dark and quickly retreat.
Last player standing.
That is the most intimidating op I've ever heard when you have the sound of the op as well as last player standing being called out. It is not a fun position at all, and Kinetic gets his quad. Is even
13-1 through 5 rounds for Kinetic. Absolutely on fire. And we'll see. I'm with you now. I think at this point, if you're the Lions, I think maybe taking a timeout, just kind of level your head. You know, work through, hey, look, the Lions or the Rabbits were down 6-0 or 6-1 at one point. Let's, you know, we can find a way back just like they did.
Ooh, and this half purchase this round isn't looking the best in terms of an eco round. Oh.
2 in a row for Kinetic in the garage. That's a nice thing when you get a half by, though. You can kind of toss the AR around if you do get taken out. So Gats will pick that one up from Crunchwrap.
There.
Zero heard him. Fortunately does get taken down. Cat's throwing out some shots. He's going to get wall banged by Dark. Though Rezkin there with a nice kill. Unfortunately with the Sheriff,
Last
not much
player
he can do.
standing.
It's down to Jabe with the Sheriff. Best that he can do at this point is just remind himself, hey, maybe just, you know, one exit frag. I can pick up a free gun here. Might also, in this situation, just save it or just try to get one and go. Gets one, but gets taken out by Dark shortly after, and now it's 6-0 Rabbit's favor.
And I mean, at this point, it's just, what do you do if you're the Lions? Kinetic's done a great job of getting a first blood onto Garage each time.
And the really scary thing here is that he's getting all of this up. He's popping off on the on attack, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine on defense, he can then just wait for them to come to him, which is so much more better if you're a sniper. If he's doing this well on attack.
Begins.
There are quite a few ults available for the Lions that they could maybe use here. Econon's going to get the first one. Zero does need one more kill. Now he has the showstopper. They were all grouped up. This could be a massive showstopper here if only he knew. Oh. An awkward angle for Crunchwrap Supreme.
Oh. I mean, what more can you say at this point? Moving through, trying to get a wallbang through the map onto Rezkin. Rezkin picks up one. Is still within their wheelhouse. It's 2-3, but he might get caught out in the reload. Yep. I'm just worried about that.
Jabe did kill Kinetic, and he has the ult. If he wants, I feel like this would have been a great round to use that Neural Theft.
And that one positioned right right at the start of A long. That would have been the perfect one to use it on. Especially when you're considering he has to go up against a Viper Spit. Gonna turn to the, almost gets the spray transfer of his life.
That would have been huge. Unfortunately, the Rapids go up now 7-0, and you know, Kinetic loses one op, and I have a feeling he's got more than enough credits to replace you with another one. And
yeah, that is indeed the case.
Meanwhile, even after really the closest round we've had, the Lions are still in an awkward spot. You see a judge coming out. You see just a Sheriff for Rezkin.
Nice camera usage. By Jabe is going to get a little bit of information on where the Rabbits are. Problem is he doesn't want to get too too gung-ho on peeking out through garage because I was going to say Kinetic can punish him with the op, but Dark with the Vandal is going to do just fine as well.
Does allow Cats to upgrade his weapon, though, as Dark goes down. Does get traded out, though, and now they try and hop onto Rezkin with the Sheriff, who's trying his hardest over on A. And now here comes Cats and Crunchwrap Supreme in a 2v4.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
And they get a 1v4 here for Crunchwrap.
Finds one up from heaven. Has to move away from the pond. Oh my goodness! He's up to 3. He's trying to bait out the defuse. Problem is he's down to 34 health, and this Jet Kinetic is going to drop right down on him, and oh, that's got a sting with the shorty to boot.
Oh man, it looked cool, that's for sure. And it looks like the Rabbits want to leave no doubt about who will be the winner here. Again, this would be even bigger of a comeback than we saw. This was a fantastic play by Crunchwrap Supreme. Great use of the dash there. Close the difference, or close the distance, excuse me. But at the end of the day, it's the same result. Another Rabbits round win, and they're up 8 here in the first half.
Oh. Can also see there, you know, can't exactly get into these players' heads also, but, you know, when a tailwind is kind of just whipped like that right at the start, doesn't show promising signs.
Thunder does come out. We've seen Cats out a couple of good ones, and that allows Jade to pick up a triple.
One enemy remaining.
And now it's just Pyro's alive, and this might be the start of something. As the Lions pick up a round win, they get the op away from Kinetic.
Okay, they tried. Now it's
the thing is, Kinetic has insurance on top of his insurance here and can just buy another one.
Strike down one head and another will rise in its place. But it's a good start for the Lions, at least. Don't quite know. They did leave the op on 0. See if we get a little showdown here in the mid.
I think the answer is going to be yes, but they're going to...
Another one for Kinetic in the op battle.
There's only room for one of us in terms of who's the opper.
Looking on. Can't quite take down Cats, but they do end up trading with a great kill from Pyro. So it's a 4v2. Rezkin really has kind of been tasked with trying to hold down A, and he's doing the best he can on this Omen.
Stealing sight.
Oh.
Last player standing.
Kinetic.
The old bait and switch.
Spike planted.
Okay, gotta feel good about that.
He is running out of credits, but if his team's able to get to the op, it won't matter too much.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing, is just make sure that they play this as a 3-on-1. Yep. Garman moves in while Dark had...
Oh, they didn't get the op.
Cornered. No, they didn't.
And Kinetic is unfortunately just short, but has the knives, is a fantastic substitute.
If there's no other illustration of how rough this is, the Lions, their top fragger is 8-9, so they don't have anyone right now with a positive KDA.
It's hard to go positive when you're down 9-1. That is a fact. But hey, they can still maybe turn this around. We've got Kinetic on the Judge, a far cry from the op, but he's going to get very aggressively. Might go into some paint shells here. We'll have to see. This Crunchwrap does have the knives out.
Some help from Dark. They clear out ropes. And now have a green light to move on to A. Crunchwrap Supreme trying to go for a next level flank with the knives, but no, he gets one shot to the head.
Dark, unfortunately, will take down Jabe. Get all down to Cats and Crunchtrap Supreme, and the knives don't quite connect. Cats finds one, however. There is a oh no, there is not. There was a revive up for the Sage, but the Sage one who died.
He throws out his util, but in the wrong way. He thinks someone's up in heaven. There isn't anyone, and Dark takes him out. And I gotta say, for as much as we've been talking about Kinetic, I mean, Dark has been that crucial, you know, wingman, if you will, for Kinetic. Whenever Kinetic, maybe if he misses an op shot or something, or mispositions himself, Dark is always there as a backup.
Yeah, no, I think that 1-2 combo has actually been phenomenal, because there's been a couple times as well where Kinetic goes for a little bit of a jiggle peek, and then immediately Dark's right there as the person's trying to figure things out. Though we do see in the final round, I thought I saw an op for the Rabbits, but it is not on Kinetic. Interesting that he's instead sticking with the Judge here in this final round.
Oh, what? Oh. Kinetic!
No match.
What are you doing?
That was just a lapse there. Cats maybe looking for his own ace. He won't quite get it as Rez can finish it off, and it is 10-2 in our final round.
Well, at this point, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's just one play, and Kinetic overall has had a great performance of the day, but I mean, just on principle, I think you got to take the player of the game away from him just based on that.
He almost came out alive. I think Cats was waiting for him to peek and not to just keep jumping towards ropes. Again, interesting that Kinetic probably easily could have gotten an op that round, but just opted for the Judge. But again, we'll swap sides at 10-2, and we'll see if the Rabbits can finish things off or if the Lions can mount a comeback. I mean, we already saw a 9-3 comeback. Maybe 10-2's in the cards.
Snakebite thrown out as Pyros is just running for it. Because Kinetic is, Crunchtrap Supreme is going to try to get right in their face.
That's one way to get the kill with the shorty, as Kinetic picks up one with the Frenzy. So it is 4v4. Kinetic gonna dash away and pick up a kill on the Crunchtrap Supreme. Is he gonna get back-to-back pistol round aces? No, he will not. Zero will at least stop his rampage. But finds himself in a very odd spot.
I mean, they could just stick this. Nice job, Pyros, being backup for Kikkonen. And now they're just 2 away. In fact, Rabbits could enter this going into their bonus round at match point.
Try to get through me.
The fact they won that pistol round means that they're already going to have a leg up on the Lions. Looks like we did see at least a stinger being flirted with potentially for Crunchtrap Supreme, and we did actually get a bit of a buy up here by the Lions, realizing that, you know, they really don't have many rounds left to lose.
Immediately going to push down that Sage wall. The ice goes out in response, gets caught in reload, and Kinetic is still there with the double off that Bulldog.
Spike planted.
Zero will get it down. It is a 2v2, 2v1 now. It's all up to Rezgin, who is unfortunately on the other side of the map. And I don't even know if he had gotten that kill if he would have got the Pyros in time.
And that overheal on the Reyna came sure and handy in that particular engage.
Match point.
Now this is match point, and
Time to bury them.
we'll see what the Lions can muster together. There is one AR purchase from them. Darman decides to go over to the Odin as well.
Bit of a aggressive play there.
Kind of true to form to how the Rabbits have been this game.
I like that mid-rush by the Lions that last game. They knew they had to do something drastic.
Here.
This time they're going to go for a little bit more of a split. He's not going to put up that wall. It immediately gets burned down, but he could go get the alt orb if he wants, but they do lose Pyros, and a great start here for the Lions in Crunchwrap Supreme.
Gonna smoke off the corner in heaven and move down to point itself. Thing is that
Kinetic.
Oh, Kinetic. Has the knives out and is looking to be the final word for this game. And he gets taken out.
Oh, it's down to a 1v2 here. Keon versus Sero and Rezkin. Ooh, and he gets caught out, so the Lions do pick up one. Only 9 more to go for them.
No charges.
Full ARs for everyone on the Rabbits. Certainly still have their work cut out for them. Actually, the Rabbits don't have enough for a full purchase. Some of them are going to have to settle for Stingers. And they're going to take this as an eco round.
I think that's the smart play. I think the way you lose this if you are the Rabbits is if you get too focused on trying to win now, then your eco gets messed up. It's going to take quite a few rounds to recover. So I like the fact of let's go Stingers. Let's simply try and make a quick play. They do get one, but they lose Dark in the process, so it's still a 4v4.
Nice win by Kinetic. Only 3 left for the Lions. Nice headshot by Cats. Those 2 Vandals that the Lions have left could be the deciding factor in this round.
Get the knives coming out from Crunchwrap Supreme, though he will get gunned down in the air. Now it's on another 2v1, and ooh, the showstopper gets stopped.
Spike down A.
It's Cats versus Kikenon. If he can find someone for a revive, you could easily make this a 2v1.
Blinding. Got the spike.
He gets blinded. Lions grab the spike. While he's planting, this is enough time for a res to be brought out. Yeah, he's going to do it.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, no.
Cats baited that one perfectly.
Nice idea, but not the greatest execution.
All right, 12-4. But I do believe this will be a full buy round for the Rabbits, and we'll see if the Lions can beat them mano-a-mano.
That was going to be a tough ask to win that, especially just in terms of the gun difference for Cats. But this should be the reason why it was overall a save round, because now they can get everything.
Yep.
And they're actually going to have a slight advantage as one of the Lions has to settle for a Guardian.
Will be Jabe on that Guardian. Rabbits trying to take the match. Lions looking to put together what would be an incredible 10-round win streak to bring it back from 10-2 to overtime.
Ivos gets first pick, followed by Kinetic.
Not a good start.
Rabbits are getting... Ooh.
My ultimate is ready.
That's a nice pick by Rezkin. He's going to get his ult charged up as a result. Pyros taking this risky peek that we have seen by teams in the past. No reason to get too gun-ho here. Yeah, maybe just try to bait out a shot, but I would not dry peek this in any scenario.
My ultimate is not ready.
Just gonna use that
He
teleport.
tries to outplay, but look
30
out!
seconds left.
Dark is right there.
Spike down A.
Surprised Dark just didn't let him play.
Yeah, because that would have been a free defuse.
Yeah, they would have had the win already had they let him play. And it's gonna be hard enough already as we hear the
10 seconds
Although,
left.
again, by not letting him defuse, there's not enough time for the Lions to even get over there and plant it themselves.
That is true. Could have won either way. He took the long con. We'll see if Cats can come up with a miracle. Obviously, he can't win, but he could have got 2 just to end it. The Rabbits take it home with a 13-4 win.
Congratulations to the Rabbits for staging an amazing come-from-behind victory on Ascent and then getting a very convincing win in Split, Game 3, to claim victory. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. So now is the time that we nominate a player of the game. I mean, I don't know if there could be anyone more than the player we've been hyping up the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely, Cats deserves a shout out, and then you mentioned Dark as well. I think that would be your top 3 if you had to make one. But yeah, I don't see a world where this isn't Kinetic outside of, as you maybe jokingly suggested, punishing him for not peeking in his corners in the end. But I don't see a way this isn't Kinetic.
And it is, in fact, going to be going over to Cats. Okay.
Okay.
I understand how it is. I guess they did take my advice. That one time then Kinetic did it peak cost them.
And I mean, I will say, Cats played phenomenally as well. It isn't just for that one misplay. I think Lotus went the Lions' way in such a dominant fashion because C was basically untakeable on defense. I mean, this was the one time they tried C, and he absolutely destroyed them with a rolling thunder. So I think this is a very deserving nominee for Cats. Again, Kinetic played out of his mind, but I think Cats was a big reason why the Lions were in it until the very end.
Well, tonight's player of the game brought to you by Esports Tower. If you want to hone your skills and prove you have what it takes to play at the next level, then head over to esportstower.com and sign up to be part of the action. Cats is your Esports Tower player of the game. So as we prepare to close out tonight, obvious fish. Besides the obvious takeaway is don't let Kinetic have the op. Do you have any other takeaways?
I think this was I think the big thing would be just make sure you use your timeouts. I know for a while there, the Esports Tower teams were very liberal with their timeouts. They'd call them anytime they lost 2 or 3 rounds in a row, and I think you made a great point. I think maybe could argue the Rabbits needed one in Game 1. Never ended up coming out that way, but there were definitely times in Game 2 for the Rabbits and Game 3 for the Lions where it's like, hey, let's just burn a timeout here. Let's figure out what's going wrong. We're making too many silly mistakes. So make sure you use your timeouts. You get one for a reason, so don't let them go to waste. You don't get them next week. You don't get 2 timeouts in that week because you didn't use any this week.
Well, congratulations on the Lions and Rabbits for a fantastic series. Both teams battled throughout the night, and in the end, the Rabbits came out the victor. You're going to want to make sure to join us for another Valorant Rumble next week at Monday, but we'll close out the top 5. The broadcast with the top 5 players of the game brought to you by Esports Tower. If you want to improve your game and take your play to the next level, then head over to esportstower.com. Right now you can sign up for the free starter club in Rocket League and start improving your skills immediately. So head over to esportstower.com, enjoy your top 5 plays, and we'll see you next week. Gets blinded. Lions grab the spike. While he's planting, this is enough time for a res to be brought out. Yeah, he's going to do it.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, no.
Cats baited that one perfectly.
Nice idea, but
not plays here depending on if they use any util. Gets 1. Recon Bolt does go out, but they'll take the 5-4 to start the round.
Now repositioning, looking to take another peek. Ooh. And gets it. 0. Risky. Oh my goodness. After 1 option.
Has a better peek.
I suggest you move.
Arbor ult brought out by the Rabbits. 0 is just going to stand in the face of danger, take out Kikkonen.
Crunchwrap has a good angle. Oh! What a flick. Wow. Oh.
That is a nice pick by Jade. Still within his wheelhouse.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
It's all up to Jabe. He gets 1.
One enemy.
Oh
Make
my
it 2.
goodness.
Spike down A.
Pulls out the tour de force.
That's a long lineup.
You were saying he had to have his lineup down. I think he's done his
does.
homework. Oh my goodness. Nice double flash from Cats. It's a 1v1. In versus Darman. Darman's already won once. He just, he